Hello my friends, welcome to Post to Post. It's Neil here, back at you with another Jersey Concept Friday. I've got to zip through this one pretty quickly today. Unfortunately, I'm running a little bit low on time. However, the good news is we got 5 new jerseys in the NHL that were released this week, and I'm going to be talking about them this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be coming tomorrow on Saturday or Sunday, but there will be 5 videos coming in the next couple of days for sure, and I'm very, very excited to drop my opinions on those and obviously hear your opinions. In this video, we're looking at Jersey Concepts 32 from the NHL. This is the Monochrome series. These are by Gordon. I have looked at one of these, and when you think monochrome, I personally think black and white. That's technically not what monochrome just means. It also means multiple shades of the same color, or like if you have a red, you could have a dark red, a deep red, like a ruby red, and then like a light red, maybe approaching pink. All of those, like if you looked at all of those, that would technically be monochrome. However, most people do think black and white. So I have looked at one of these. It is colored, so I have a feeling that most are kind of using the same shades of the same color, or maybe they are black and white. I'm not sure. We're gonna find that out. Let's go react to these together and have some fun. Thanks, Gordon, for sending these in. Let's jump in. First one up is going to be Anaheim. Let's bring it up on the screen, and boom, there we go. So this was the one that I looked at when he sent these in. So technically, I have seen this one. Everything else beyond this point, I've not seen. So I thought this was a really, really interesting and great jersey design. Not so much the color. I think maybe the yellow is a bit of a wrong decision. But I love the way that everything is laid out on this jersey. I actually even kind of like the classic shoulder patch that's on there. If you just replaced the yellow or the shades of yellow or whatever and changed that to orange that's already in their color family, I think it would be a much more acceptable jersey. It's not bad as it is, but it just feels a little bit out of place. If you just change that to orange, I think this would actually be a really, really cool and interesting jersey. I really like the bottom of the jersey, and it's not symmetrical, and it goes against things that I typically like, but it's just something about it. I think it's well designed. Next, we got Arizona. Okay, here we go. So this is much more in line with what I would think when I think monochrome. In terms of color. So the previous one had like a lot of like, it wasn't white, but it was basically white. So this is more so almost two-tone and a lot of closer shades within the same, color family. But this is, we've basically kind of seen this jersey design. We've got the roadkill coyote on there, the shoulder patch that we're used to, the Kachina pattern. I've seen it angled like that as well. There is a bit of a subtle change in primary color, or main color rather. The primary color is a burgundy, and then the secondary color, which you see down below, is more so in like the red or ruby kind of family. But at first glance, if you don't look directly at them, you can kind of almost make your mind think that it's all one color, but it's okay jersey. I'm not a fan of the logo though, personal preference. Boston's next. Wow. Okay, so we've got the Pooh Bear on the front, which is okay. I don't like what's happening with the logo on the shoulders. I think that is a worse version of the logo being colorized like that. I don't mind the rest of it, but it's a little bit poopy. Next up, in color, not design, and the Buffalo is next. This is cool. I love a blue that's split between dark and light. They always complement each other nicely. This is a really good example of that. I think this is balanced very nicely in terms of color. Jersey design, it's okay. I love the Buffalo Slug colored like that, though. That actually looks really good. Next up, Calgary. What is happening here? Am I back in the 80s in a disco club or something, or not a disco club, an arcade bar or something? What's happening here? The neck is interesting. Blasty is also interesting on the shoulder. Numbers are too blocky and kind of pixelated. I think that is a neat design, but realistically it's not really that plausible. I don't think you'd ever see something like that on a jersey, just from a readability standpoint and as far as like TV and stuff. And I know that people don't design these to be like super logical and think that far ahead and stuff. They just want to have fun, but it is worth mentioning. The logo is pretty neat, actually. I don't necessarily love it on a jersey, but if you threw that on a hat, a shirt, perfect. The arm design on the right as we're looking at it, don't love that. On the opposing side, I have a bit of a love-hate. It's a staged gradient, which is kind of nice, and it's got the angle, which gives shades of the pedestal jersey and stuff. So it's neat. I think there's too much going on in this jersey. Carolina. Okay, so this is, when you hear monochrome, this is what most people think. You got some grays, some dark like charcoal, some white. As far as the jersey design, it looks like a mummy or something, or Zach Wilde's guitar, if you know who that is. It's just, it doesn't feel plausible. It doesn't feel plausible. It looks like a weird warm-up specialty jersey, and like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just too busy for my personal preference. Next, what is this? I kind of hate that I love this. Like, this is so busy. The logo, like, it just blends in with the background. There's not really much separation, especially with the arm logo, or the logos here, the secondary logo. It kind of loses it into the background. Also, because it is so linear and just there's so many stripes. I kind of really like this, and I'm mad at myself that I like this, but I'm missing the red, but it works. Like, I kind of feel like the yellow kind of works in here. And I like the numbers on the shoulders too. I'm going to be honest. This one is a surprise for me. On paper, if you told me that you were doing this, I'd be like, it ain't it. Do something else. But seeing it, I kind of like it. Okay, let's go. Columbus. The colors. I love the colors because we don't get enough of that in the NHL. That almost like a really, really desaturated lime green. That's very nice in there. And then more of an actual lime green in the neck. You can see that in the logo as well. As far as jersey design, I don't love it. I don't like this weird, it's like starts up here at the neck and it comes down and then it goes over in front of the shoulder. And yeah, I don't really like that, but I do like the colors. Next, the Avalanche. I think the shoulders are too busy. It's my first initial impression. I like everything else. If we just, like, the shoulders don't need 4 different colors or stripes or whatever. I guess the white's not really a stripe, but you know what I mean. 3 different stripes and going into white. I think that's too much. Remove one of them, we can talk. But I like the C on the shoulder. You guys know I like that logo. I think the recolorization of the primary logo looks good. The rest of the jersey is pretty good. Not bad. Okay, Dallas. This reminds me of one of those books. I don't know if they still make them, but when I was a kid, there were these books and everything was like jumbled. It was just like you couldn't really make anything out. But when you crossed your eyes focused in on like a shape and it became 3D. I'm not sure if they still make those or not, but that's what this reminds me of. Anyone older like me might remember those, but this is not for me personally. In almost every aspect. I will say that I like the shade of the primary green that's chosen, but overall, this one's not for me. Detroit. Wow, this is weird because this is like a cross between a Stadium Series jersey with how big the logo is, and it's just insane. It spans the entire jersey, and also Winter Classic in a way because I get that vibe from just the simple stripes coming down the arm. If you took just like the neck and the arms, that looks like something that might have existed 100 years ago for the Detroit Red Wings, or I guess technically less than 100 years ago. But the middle, if you just took away the arms and just looked at the middle, that's so Stadium Series. So I'm a little bit conflicted. I think there's 2 different design languages kind of happening here, but it's not terrible. As kind of crazy as it is, it's not too terrible. The Oilers. Ooh, I like what's happening at the bottom, actually. A bit of a yin and a yang with the color swap. And I like the bit of a wave action as well. That's kind of neat. I don't love the logo recolorized like that. I think if you just use like the regular logo on this, might be okay. Next, the Florida Panthers. Okay, this is cool. I really like what's happening with the numbers. You're taking a character or a persona of the team, which is the Panther, and you're bringing it to life in other aspects of the jersey. You can see this on the arms with the claws ripping through the inside of the jersey, which is amazing. You can see it on the front as well. I don't necessarily love it so much on the front. It is a bit distracting, but on the arms by the numbers, like that is such a great decision. Gets a little bit complicated because if you're thinking about this being physically made, well, the jersey's made and then the numbers are stitched or heat pressed or whatever on top. But when you have the claws coming over the numbers, okay, well, that logically means that the numbers have to be printed on the jersey prior to, because of sublimation. And then, like, I don't think you could make this, like the claws coming through, an actual, like a patch or something that's been put on. You could, but it would I think it would feel like it would look weird. And again, that would have to go on after the numbers. And it's a really good conceptual idea, but not every conceptual idea equals, what's the best word? I guess logical, but there's another word I was thinking of in terms of production. But anyways, it's a really cool jersey. It's a really cool jersey, and I like the logo on the front. Next, wow, LA. Okay, I could not have worn a more opposing jersey for LA here. I am on the opposite end of the spectrum of just a classic old school style LA jersey, and in front of me is the most modern, colorful, I guess there's no yellow, but still the most modern and colorful LA jersey that I have seen in a very long time. I don't think this fits in the NHL, even for a Stadium Series jersey. However, it is extremely interesting, and if this existed, it would sell, I feel like. I like what's happening up here. Little quick thought. Whatever's happening up here with the LA and the 55 up there, I like that. Next. Okay. Again, it's kind of like the Colorado one for me. Get rid of all of this stuff that's on the shoulders. I like everything else that's going on. Nice shades. Let's move on. Ooh, the Canadiens. This one will be a miss for me. It's too empty. It's not working for me. Not working for me. Next up, the Nashville Predators. I almost said Boston Bruins. The Nashville Predators. Oh, and by the way, these files are named by team name, not abbreviation. Usually we do abbreviation, but Gordon named these by city name, basically. So if you've noticed that the order is a little bit mixed up to what it normally is, that's why. Okay. No. I mean, no. Sorry, Gordon. No offense, but this one would be a miss for me. There is way too much happening here in terms of stripes and lines and stuff. Yeah, not for me. Oh, the Devils. Look at this. This is cool. It doesn't necessarily scream Devils, because if I look at this and if I remove the logo and be like, what team could go on here and it work? Probably LA, actually. Just throw this logo on there. It has such a very weathered metal or steel kind of look, like it's the exterior of a fighter jet or something. And it's been through the ringers a little bit, and it's weathered, it's worn. That's almost like an endearing aspect of a jersey or a hockey team. You want something that's a little bit rough around the edges, and I think this jersey speaks it. So while it doesn't scream Devils to me, I really like the jersey. I think they could probably wear it okay, and I think this will look great in a uniform. Small criticism, the color depth of the logo doesn't match the color depth of the numbers. The numbers, jet black. The logo, it's not the same. So either go jet black all the way, or have it a little bit desaturated or something, just to kind of match the same in between the two. Next, the Islanders. Okay, I don't know what's happening at the top of the jersey by the shoulders. That would be an absolute miss for me. But I love the colors. I actually really like the colors a lot. This is an awesome kind of redesign of their brand a little bit. I like the bottom of the jersey as well, a little bit of fisherman vibes. But yeah, I don't love the numbers actually chosen either, or the font specifically. And I don't love the top. But yeah, you're onto something here, Gordon. Next, the Rangers. Very logical decision, an intuitive decision at the bottom. If you look at the bottom of the Lady Liberty logo, you have that the angularity of the bottom of that. That's replicated as a stripe at the bottom of the jersey. That's pretty smart, actually. It does look good. However, at the same time, you have this point coming down at the middle, in the middle of the jersey, below the belly button, pointing down to hey, look at my ween kind of thing. So I don't any kind of protrusion at the middle of the jersey coming up from the crotch or pointing down towards the crotch. That's always going to be a miss for me, just because it's just a little bit weird. But the jersey overall is pretty cool. And again, it's a very logical decision to make the stripes down there. Feel free to disagree. I mean, there's no right or wrong. Next, the Ottawa Senators. Wow. So some big O's, I guess, that's in there. Maybe that's what's supposed to be kind of the design decision there. It looks okay. I think here looks a little bit like a metal, but it looks okay. I don't necessarily love it in the middle of the jersey, though. It's a bit of a weird jersey. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. It's just okay. Next up, okay. So this reminds me of the Winter Classic game between Montreal and Boston, which I believe happened around 2016-ish or something. It was in the Reebok years, and Claude Julien wore a jacket that looked like this as the coach of I think he was still with the Boston Bruins at that point, but he wore a jacket like this, and it instantly reminded me of that. So as a jersey, no, I don't think so. It's too silly. If you're in the OHL, sometimes they do funny jerseys like this, so okay. But I don't think in the NHL, but I love conceptually the idea. That's really interesting. I don't know how well it would sell. Be very curious to get your opinions down below in the comment section. Would you buy something like this, or is it just fun to look at? Next, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Wow. Yeah, this is too much, I think. It's very polygonal. It's too much. Way too much for me personally. Wow. San Jose. This I really like. Don't love the font that's chosen, but I really like the slow staged gradient in a way. This is very Stadium Series. Absolute Stadium Series here. I love the colors too. This might be my favorite so far, and I kind of feel bad about that because I think it was the previous video, or maybe the previous video from that. I think I picked San Jose as my favorite in the video, and I don't necessarily want to do that 2 weeks in a row, but I really like this a lot. I think this is my favorite so far. I love the colors. Next, the Seattle Kraken. Okay, this isn't too bad, but again, it's a little bit unnecessarily busy. The bottom middle of the jersey is just a little bit, it makes sense, but yeah, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's okay. Next, the St. Louis Blues. I kind of like the musical aspect in that empty space in the arm, but I don't love the neck. Yeah, there's just something a little bit off about this jersey. It's okay. Tampa Bay. Yeah, I don't love the logo if I'm being completely honest. I kind of like the numbers. The numbers are very cool, but I don't love the logo. I think it's because it transitions to a blue, so you kind of lose it a little bit in the background. But I do like the gradient in general in the back of the jersey. Next, the Toronto Maple Leafs, using the leaf texture in the entire thing. I actually think that's a really good idea. Not necessarily executed like this. And I guess what I mean by that is get Carlton or whoever that is off of the shoulder. The numbers are too stylized and too, see, look how the round nature of the numbers of the ice that's on there, and then look at the rigidity of the back of the jersey. It's too, sometimes we talk about design language. Those are two different design languages. You really want to try and be consistent when it comes to branding and any kind of visual design. And the logo as well is very rigid. So I don't think the numbers or font or stylization on there matches the rest of the jersey. So get those off there, get the shoulder patch off there, put a regular rigid font on there. And I actually really like this. Not even as a Stadium Series jersey or something, a specialty jersey. I think this might even work as an alternate. Maybe not so much in the neck. If that was solid, that might be a little bit better. But just in general, even if you just change the color of this, it doesn't have to be black and white. If this was maybe like a blue or a green or something, I don't know. I think Gordon's onto something here. I actually really like this. It's a bit wild. Next, Vancouver. Okay, so we've got the V in there, which we've seen lots. The number at an angle is a little sus. The logo is decent colored like that, I think. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think this is very plausible, though. Next, the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay. This is going to be too much for me. It's a really cool jersey, and I bet you if it existed, people would buy the heck out of this because it is such a cool jersey. This is a damn cool jersey. I don't think it's very plausible. I don't think something like this would exist in a game. Specialty jersey, warm-up jersey, maybe. People would buy it, but not for me and in terms of an actual hockey game. Next, the Washington Capitals. Yeah, again, maybe one of those jerseys, there's just too much happening. The arms have got feathers and stuff happening, and then there's two logos in the middle, and on the show, this part's kind of neat, but it doesn't really match the rest. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, there's too much going on. And then the last one, the Winnipeg Jets. So these ones are flop based on abbreviation, so usually it's Washington last, but Winnipeg's going to be the last one here. I love the shoulders, and I love the arms, because it looks like a runway. The end of the runway, you've got those three lines which mark the beginning or the end of the runway, and then the dotted line's kind of in the middle. They're called the Jets. Also, the number that's in there marks the number of the player, and also the runway number. Runways have numbers. Every airport that you go to, every one runway, geez, I can't talk, has its own runway code. And as someone who loves aviation, I like this jersey just from that aspect. I don't love everything that's happening in the middle of the jersey, though. I'm wondering if you just made that the same color as the arms, just a nice charcoal. That'd be a pretty cool jersey. Either way, I'm actually going to do it. I want to give a shout out to Chicago, though, because I think that one just really threw me for a loop. I know there's going to be lots of people who don't like it. I do really like this, surprisingly, but I am going to do it. I'm going to give it to San Jose. I really like this jersey. Whether it was a fun alternate, Stadium Series, specialty, whatever, those colors really work, in my opinion, for San Jose. Good job, Gordon, on all of these. I think these were very risky, and I say this every time that someone submits a series that's really risky or it's out there, or more so in terms of a lot of the designs don't hit for me. I would rather look at series like this, more than any other ones that play it safe. I love when designers and concept creators take risks. That's fun, because every once in a while, you're gonna get one that just hits with everyone and it just looks amazing. So I would encourage anyone, if you're designing a jersey, there's nothing wrong with keeping it safe and keeping it simple and a little bit more classic, but I would highly encourage you to be a little bit more creative and just kind of take some risks, and just with the understanding that it might not be for everyone, but it's fun, and it's, you never know, you might come up with something that's really complex but also plausible too. So, and I think Gordon did that a couple of times here in this series. So Gordon, thank you so much for submitting those. I appreciate it. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys thought was the best one, maybe the worst one, top 3, whatever you want to do. Would love to hear your feedback, and I'm sure Gordon would as well. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we've got lots of videos coming in the next couple of days. 5 jerseys to look through, 5 new NHL jerseys. So I'm very excited to talk about those. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Enjoy your weekend. See you later. Adios.